Imagine of possible polar bear activity. The tour company had taken precautionary steps, including bringing firearms, bear deterrents, and setting up perimeter alarms around the campsite. These alarms were supposed to sound if any animal approached, giving campers enough time to react. In the early morning hours, as the group slept, an adult male polar bear began to prowl near the campsite. At first, it appeared the bear was simply wandering nearby. But hunger and curiosity drew it closer, and soon enough it crossed the campsite's perimeter. Tragically, the alarm system meant to alert the campers either failed or didn't activate quickly enough. The bear, undeterred, continued its approach, driven by a powerful need to eat in a land where sustenance is scarce. Before the group could react, the bear singled out one of the tents. Without warning, it lunged toward it, tearing through the fabric and coming face to face with the unsuspecting tourists inside. In a frenzied assault, the bear attacked with powerful bites and swipes, its claws tearing through the thin tools and catching the victim before he could fully comprehend what was happening. The suddenness of the attack left little time for defense. As the terrified campers awoke to the horrifying sounds of the attack, chaos erupted throughout the campsite. The group, realizing the imminent danger, scrambled to scare the bear away, some reaching for firearms while others yelled in an attempt to divert the bear's attention. But polar bears are not easily intimidated, especially when hunger drives them. The bear continued its assault until a member of the group finally managed to fire a shot that drove it off. The bear retreated, leaving behind a scene of devastation and horror. The incident left a lasting impact on Svalbard's tight-knit community and shocked tourists who frequently come seeking adventure in the Arctic. The tragedy served as a grim reminder of the ever-present risks of polar bear encounters in Svalbard. Despite the natural beauty and allure of these landscapes, the remoteness of the region means that access to immediate medical help is nearly impossible, and any encounter with polar bears carries potentially deadly consequences. Following the attack, Norwegian authorities reviewed and strengthened their safety protocols, reminding all visitors to Svalbard of the critical need for caution. The archipelago is among the most rugged places on Earth, and polar bears, though majestic, are apex predators that view humans as part of their territory. Polar bears are unpredictable, especially in summer when food is limited and bears are forced to roam closer to human activity. It is essential to maintain respect for the wildlife that calls this place home. For anyone venturing into polar bear territory, preparation and vigilance are paramount. If you plan to camp or travel in regions where polar bears are known to roam, Always equip yourself with multiple deterrents, such as bear spray, flares, and if local regulations permit, firearms. Ensure any alarm systems are fully functional, and remember that a perimeter alone may not be enough to stop a determined bear. When setting up camp, remain vigilant and avoid keeping food or waste near sleeping areas, as this attracts bears from miles away. Story 2. In the remote industrial city of Norilsk, Russia, the summer of 2019 saw a chilling encounter between man and nature, reminding the world just how unpredictable and lethal wild animals can be. Located in northern Siberia, Norilsk is one of the coldest cities on Earth and one of the last places one might expect to encounter a polar bear. Polar bears rarely venture so far inland, but the harsh Arctic conditions were pushing them farther from their traditional hunting grounds, driving them into increasingly desperate situations in search of food. It was in this unusual context that a polar bear's tragic encounter with a human unfolded. On July 23, 2019, a 53-year-old security guard was on duty in Norilsk, patrolling the industrial outskirts of the city. Known for its sprawling mining facilities and tough living conditions, Norilsk is surrounded by a desolate, frozen tundra that typically serves as a natural barrier against most wildlife. However, sightings of polar bears in unexpected places had increased across Russia's northern regions, spurred by the drastic melting of Arctic ice and the bear's need to find sustenance on land. This polar bear, like others that had started venturing south, had traveled hundreds of miles away from its native habitat, driven by hunger and desperation. As the security guard carried out his routine patrol, he noticed something unusual: a large white figure moving across the barren landscape, its imposing shape unmistakable against the rocky terrain. At first, he might have thought it was a stray animal, but as the figure drew closer, he realized, with a growing sense of dread, that he was staring at a fully grown polar bear. The bear, likely disoriented and desperately hungry, had wandered into the industrial outskirts of the city, a place entirely foreign and devoid of the usual Arctic prey it was accustomed to. The bear, guided by a powerful instinct to find food, zeroed in on the lone figure of the security guard. Polar bears are apex predators, and their hunting instincts are triggered by movement and shape. In this case, the guard appeared as a potential source of food. Realizing the danger he was in, the guard tried to back away and avoid provoking the animal. However, polar bears can sprint at surprising speeds, and before he could retreat, the bear charged with terrifying force. In a matter of seconds, the encounter turned violent. As the bear's jaws closed in, the guard's cries echoed across the barren expanse, but there was little anyone could do. The sheer strength of a polar bear, with its sharp claws and powerful jaws, makes it nearly impossible for a human to fend off. Tragically, the guard did not survive the attack. The shocking incident left the residents of Norilsk in disbelief. Authorities quickly arrived on the scene, and the bear was later euthanized to prevent any further attacks on people in the area. Local officials and wildlife experts explained that the bear's unusual presence in Norilsk was a symptom of the changing Arctic ecosystem. As polar bears are forced to wander farther from their natural hunting grounds, the likelihood of similar encounters only grows. For those living in or traveling to areas where polar bears may wander, especially as environmental changes drive them farther from the ice, it's essential to be prepared for such rare but potentially deadly encounters. Always carry deterrents if you're in remote Arctic areas. Items such as bear spray, noisemakers, or flares can help prevent an attack. Avoid leaving food or trash exposed, as it can attract bears from surprising distances. And if you do spot a bear, never approach it, and try to find shelter or cover as quickly as possible, keeping in mind that polar bears can move faster than expected. Story 3. In the vast, icy expanse near Nunavut, a close-knit community in Canada's far north, an unforgettable story of courage, and took place on July 3, 2018. Aaron Gibbons, a 31-year-old father, was out enjoying a summer day with his children on Sentry Island, a place known for its serene beauty and quiet, rugged shores. The island was a favorite gathering spot for families in the community, and on that particular day, Gibbons had brought his children to the island to fish and connect with the land, just as he had done countless times before. But this day would take a tragic and terrifying turn as they faced one of the Arctic's most formidable predators, a polar bear. For many Inuit families, encounters with wildlife are not uncommon, as they grow up learning the ways of the land and its dangers. However, polar bears are still one of the most feared animals in the region. Known for their size, strength, and hunting skills, these bears can be unpredictable, especially during summer when their food supply becomes limited and they venture closer to human settlements in search of sustenance. As Gibbons and his children relaxed along the shoreline, they were suddenly confronted by a polar bear that had wandered into their area. Aaron quickly noticed the bear approaching, and he knew they were in grave danger. Without hesitation, he moved to place himself between his children and the advancing bear. So in that heart-pounding moment, Aaron's only thought was to protect his kids. He yelled at them to run back to their boat, directing them to safety as he stood his ground, unarmed and fully aware of the threat in front of him. The children did as they were told, racing toward the boat while their father remained behind. Aaron's voice must have echoed across the shore, commanding them to stay away as he attempted to ward off the bear. But despite his bravery and his efforts to intimidate the animal, the polar bear advanced relentlessly. In those harrowing moments, Gibbons faced the bear with unimaginable courage, sacrificing himself to protect his loved ones. The bear ultimately attacked Aaron, leaving his children safe but traumatized by the tragedy unfolding before their eyes. Despite the brave father's desperate actions, the bear's strength was overwhelming, and Aaron did not survive. His selflessness had saved his children, but at the cost of his own life. His passing sent shockwaves through the Arviat community, where he was remembered as a devoted father, friend, and community member. Authorities quickly responded, and the polar bear was put down to prevent further harm to people in the area. His bravery was widely acknowledged, and he was remembered not just as a protector of his children, but as a symbol of the strength and resilience of the Arctic community. In the aftermath, discussions about polar bear encounters and the dangers they pose to Arctic communities intensified. Residents of Nunavut and similar regions face unique challenges in coexisting with polar bears, as climate change pushes the animals closer to human areas in search of food. The thinning ice and altered hunting patterns drive polar bears into new territories, sometimes creating dangerous situations like the one Aaron faced. Aaron Gibbons' story is a haunting reminder of the deep bond between families in the North and their powerful connection to the land they inhabit. His act of bravery serves as a tribute to the strength of parental love and the willingness to sacrifice for those we hold dear, even in the face of unimaginable danger. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about wildlife and safety tips, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch our latest updates. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.